You know that feeling that you're a fraud, you're about to be found out, and you don't belong here? Yes, we're talking about imposter syndrome. And the truth is that imposter syndrome will never completely go away. The solution here isn't to cure it, it's to outsmart it. So today I'm going to share with you 3 mindset shifts that help me be successful and influential at Google despite the self-doubt. Hi, I'm Roshni, and I spent the last 13 years working at Google, closing million-dollar deals, leading sales teams, and helping people get promoted into senior roles. And now I help you navigate your career with everything I've learned that's worked for me. So let's start with the first one, which is removing the feelings from the equation. Now, your feelings are valid and you should absolutely feel them. However, when it comes to determining our self-worth at work or how we are performing, feelings don't tell the full story, and sometimes they even mislead us. So what is the solution? The solution here is to make sure that you have some hard facts, some documented proof to show that you're making progress and you're contributing to the goals of your organization. And that starts by documenting your achievements, small and big, in a systematic way. I can dive deeper into what that is in a future video because that can be an entire video, and if you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments. But the goal here is to spend 10 to 15 minutes to document some of the things you've accomplished in that time period. When you document your wins, be systematic about it. Make sure you write down what you did, the result it brought, and any specific numbers. Be as specific as you can, whether that's a quote from your client praising your work, or whether that's a revenue number, or whether it's a percentage by which you increased efficiency in certain workflows. Whatever it is, be as specific as you can. And note, you don't have to write, an entire saga. It should only take you 10 to 15 minutes to quickly jot them down. And you can even do this in between meetings so that the next time the voice in your head tells you you got lucky, you can point to your achievement tracker and prove to yourself that you didn't. You put in the hard work and you got results. Now, the second mindset shift is acting your way into confidence. Confidence isn't just a feeling that arises out of nowhere. It comes as a result of taking action despite the fear or the hesitations that you have. So take action even when you don't feel confident or comfortable, or you feel like you don't know what you're supposed to do exactly. That is exactly how you will build your credibility and confidence in your own eyes so you don't feel like you're an imposter. There are 2 tactical things you should be doing here. 1, be aware of what it takes to be at the next level. What does it mean to perform at the next level? What are people that are senior to you in your organizations doing in meetings, etc.? Observe them and learn from them. The second thing is, how can you look for spaces in your day-to-day work to actually demonstrate or practice that behavior? How can you get outside your comfort zone in a meeting and speak up when there are senior level VPs contributing their opinion on a topic? You're in the room, right? So you must be valuable to that conversation. And if you don't have anything valuable to add, what you can also do is ask clarifying questions. That shows that you've been paying attention, you want to learn, and chances are that if you have that question, a lot of other people in the room have that question as well. And that's how you learn and you'll gain depth of knowledge by getting over that fear of looking stupid by asking a stupid question. There are no stupid questions, by the way, and I had to learn it the hard way. And it's only when I started asking questions about things I didn't understand, I realized that people were just operating with minimal knowledge, and therefore they weren't able to really progress as fast as they wanted to or achieve the results that they were hoping for. Be that person that raises their hand when your manager asks, oh, I have this project and I need somebody to work on it, even if you don't feel like you have the time or the necessary skills to perform it. If it is a project that your manager is offering up to the entire team, chances are you can figure it out. Maybe it won't be within your comfort zone and maybe you'll have to stretch yourself a little bit, but all that is going to give you new skills and more confidence. So when those imposter thoughts come into your mind, you can say, hey, look, I did this thing. I went out of my comfort zone and I succeeded in this thing. Therefore, I belong here and I'm as good as everybody else in the room. This is not theory. These are the exact steps that I took in order to get promoted and even become a manager without any experience. So this is all tried and tested, and I want you to take this piece of advice and make it your own and adapt it to your workplace. Not all workplaces are the same, but if you follow these principles, you will grow personally and professionally. You have the proof, you're acting the part, and you're managing to quiet that voice in your head that says you're an imposter. But only internal validation isn't enough, and you need others to say that to you as well, which means we all need external validation. And there are tactical ways to get external validation without faking it or playing politics. So let's figure out how to own the external narrative. The idea here is to build advocates that will speak up for you beyond your manager. It doesn't mean that your manager is not supportive and won't advocate for you, but the more people you get the chance to help and build your credibility with, the higher the chances that you will be promoted in a room where there are many other capable candidates. The action you can take here is to become as predictable as possible. So let's say you're working on a project with multiple sponsors. Identify the key sponsors of that project and make sure you set up a cadence where you send them updates. Now, it can be a casual conversation, it can be an email, it can be a presentation. It depends on your organization and your leader. How do they prefer to interact? However, they know that once a month, once a quarter, whatever the cadence is, I'm going to get an update from Roshni talking about the progress she's made, as well as some of the challenges and what asks she has of me. And so that consistency allows you to seamlessly talk about the progress you're making, the challenges you're overcoming, and the contributions you're making to your leader's organization. And it also helps you build trust because you have a section where you're talking about the challenges that you're facing, and therefore it tells your leader that you're not only here to present the happy, glossy, fun updates. You are serious about this business and you want to solve these problems, and you're looking to your leader to help you and be a sponsor in making this project successful. And so you feel like you're a part of the mission, and that builds credibility like nothing else. When you start demonstrating that ownership mindset and you build in that predictability, you'll get compliments like ones I've gotten before, which is once we get something to Roshni, we know it'll be done. That was probably the biggest compliment I received in my career, and it took me a while to build that level of credibility. And of course, there were certain things that I couldn't get done just because the obstacles were too big or not solvable. However, what I did build was the reputation that Roshni will get things done despite the challenges if it's actually possible. She will give it her best shot. And that's what you want to build for yourself as a reputation, and it'll last you a long time and across companies, and it'll pay off dividends. The next time the imposter feeling says, if I talk about my wins, I look like I'm bragging. you can rely on your advocates who can give you that external validation and offer support when that internal validation is just not enough. These three mindset shifts combined together really make a difference. We talked about how to document your proof so we can remove the feeling that we're not good enough from the equation. The second mindset shift we talked about was about taking action and how confidence is a result of putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. And then the last thing we talked about, which is incredibly important, is finding advocates outside of your direct manager by actually helping them and helping further business goals so that you're not the only one validating the impact you're having on the organization, and you have a bunch of supporters to do that. You now have the system to outsmart imposter syndrome. But where is your biggest weakness that is holding you back? I've created a free quiz just to answer that question. The link is right at the top of the description. If you found these mindset shifts helpful, then you'll love my video on the deep dive into how to get promoted without asking your manager for it. Watch that next.